So the WWE has fired Hulk Hogan in the wake of leaked audio documenting the wrestling star using the N-word multiple times in a racist rant. Now, this audio is from a sex tape that Hogan was covertly filmed in 2008. Now, the comments were discovered on the same sex tape over which Hogan is poised to go to trial with Gawker Media, which posted excerpts of the tape in 2012. And the conversation is between Hogan and Heather Clem, the wife of former friend and radio host Bubba the Love Sponge Clem, and it was recorded on the same tape, which remains sealed in the Florida court. Now, though the file is sealed, the audio was leaked. The WWE listened to the audio, and transcript has just been released. So we have some of that for you, where you can find him saying things like, "I guess we're all a little racist." He then goes on to talk about his daughter Brooke, who I guess kind of entered into some sort of business deal with an African-American billionaire, where he goes to saying, "She's making some real bad decisions now. My daughter Brooke jumps sides on me. I spent $2 to $3 million on her music career. I've done everything like a jackass for her. I don't know if Brooke was fucking the black guy's son. I mean, I don't have double standards. I mean, I am a racist to a point, fucking N-words. But then when it comes to nice people and shit and whatever, I mean, I'd rather, if she was gonna fuck some N-word, I'd rather have her marry an 8-foot-tall N-word worth $100 million like a basketball player. I guess we're all a little racist, effing N-word."
Jesus.
Is that a monologue from Avenue Q?
It's a little jumbled. I don't totally understand what he's saying. The weirdest part for me for this entire thing is that this is going on during a sex tape. I don't know what act is happening during this conversation.
This is maybe just
this gets the woman all hot.
But the WWE was quick to respond, and they released this statement saying the WWE has terminated its contract with Terry Bollea, who's also known as Hulk Hogan. WWE is committed to embracing and celebrating individuals from all backgrounds as demonstrated by the diversity of our employees, performers, and fans worldwide. They were also quick to take action on this, and Hogan has already been removed from WWE Hall of Fame page. His bio page reads, "You are not authorized to access to this page." His merchandise has been taken off WWEshop.com, and he's no longer listed as a judge for WWE's Tough Enough show.
He was going to be a judge. What do you know?
Yeah, so this all happened this morning, and then he later released a statement to People saying that 8 years ago I used offensive language during a conversation. It was unacceptable for me to have used that offensive language. There's no excuse for it, and I apologize having done it. This is not who I am. I believe very strongly that every person in the world is important and should not be treated differently based on race, gender, orientation, religious beliefs, or otherwise. I'm disappointed with myself that I use language that is offensive and inconsistent with my own beliefs.
Look, I think that when you judge someone, now this is from 8 years ago, he was a much younger man. He was, what, 45 then? You learn a lot as you age. Look, I had probably a 4-year period where I watched a lot of wrestling. He was only intermittently involved in those years. But yeah, it's pretty rough to see what some of these people are actually like in their spare time. Now, granted, he had warned us this entire time that he was a maniac, and no one listened. No one listened.
Well, a lot of that stuff he said was just in the Ron Paul newsletters. And anyway, I hear he's in line to buy the LA Clippers. So that's
nice. Awesome. Awesome.
I guess this is the question I always have. I've known racists, but none of them have ever been openly to my face. If I have friends that say stuff like this, they've never said it around me on accident, right? Mm-hmm. Have you guys ever had a friend that talks like this and they think it's just kind of, because I think he truly doesn't, first off, he said, we're all a little racist, so that just says I'm a racist. Then later in his 8 years later, says this is not who I am. So either you are racist or you're not, both from your own mouth. But I just wonder, do people say, first off, I don't know if you guys want to out any friends, you don't have to say any names, but has anyone
Hannah's not here to defend
has anyone ever gone through all this and then said, well, I mean, I just thought it was kind of badass to say things like this. Isn't it cool? Is it cool in some circles?
I don't think so.
But not considered racist?
Not outside the police department.
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't know. It doesn't equate to me.
I think there's some people who use the term and end it with an A. And think they're being like, you know, I'm with the homies or whatever, but it's still not okay. Like, I still don't think that's acceptable.
I don't think saying I'm with the homies is okay either.
No. even if not referring to African Americans, just using it in any sort
Right,
of
but I
sense,
mean,
just using the word like.
In similar contexts like this one, where he's obviously talking about a black billionaire who funded or had some part in his daughter's career and his black son, then starts throwing out these terms.
Yeah.
So then, does he think is he impressing the woman he's sleeping with? Does he think? I mean, so that's I wonder
think he's
if
just
in
being
any
honest.
circles people go, well, you know, I was just using the word because it's cool with other racist white people.
I
Not
think
in
he
any
was just.
circle.
I think he was just ranting, and that's a word that
Yeah,
fits
that
naturally.
comes
into
out of
rants.
his mouth all the time. That's
Yeah.
how he taught. No, I know racists because they're in my family, and I grew up in a neighborhood that are full of racists, and a lot of my cop friends in Chicago. Anyway, and they all think that you're racist too. See, that's what Hulk Hogan said. We're all a little racist. So they all think that everyone. So when I talk to my friends back in Chicago who are still racist, they'll say things like, they're like, oh, I know you can't say that because you're in Hollywood and your friends won't like you anymore. Like they'll say the N-word or something. Oh, I know you can't say that because your friends in Hollywood. No, I'm not pretending not to be racist so liberal Hollywood will like me.
Yeah.
I'm not racist. That's why
Yeah.
I actually, it came out of my neighborhood. I rose above it. I didn't become, let it go to. So, and by the way, a lot of racists are nice people.
They are actually.
So when they say that, they'll say the word over it, and then they'll think that you're not saying it because you're being nice, and that's really what it is. And he just revealed it right there. We're all a little racist. No, we're not all a little
But
racist.
that's an interesting distinction when he says, we're all a little racist. A lot of people who are racist will be like, I'm not racist, but. And we've talked about that a few times where I'm not racist, but, and then they'll say things that are extremely,
Yes.
But you know
They
how
think
they
they're
all
just telling it the
rob
truth. See, they think
Eve.
they're telling the truth,
Right.
and you can't handle the truth, and you don't want to acknowledge the truth. But I'm going to be big enough to acknowledge the truth, and that's what. But I'm not racist. But it's true that black people are criminals.
Yeah. I just want to throw this in here. I don't overall like the leaked, privately recorded footage. Just like with the Sterling, I don't like that he said it, obviously. I totally understand the WWE responding in the way that they did. They kind of had to.
Yes.
But I don't like people being recorded when they don't know about it.
And that
overall.
same thing
that
with
makes
that.
me super uncomfortable.
The same thing with the LA Clippers guy. No, it was horrible. What he says there is horrible. But a goddamn private conversation has to be made in private conversation. I say lots of horrible, ugly stuff in my private conversations. A lot of the times I'm pretending to mean those things, right? That's what comedians like to do. We like to say the ugliest things.
Right.
We say lots of the ugly things you would never say in public, but we say it because that at any given time to a comedian, the ugliest, most wrong thing you can say is what's funny.
Yes.
Right? So you say it with a straight face. Everyone knows you don't mean it because we're comedians. You would never say it in public. But let's say somebody I'm at a poker game and we're all saying horrible things, about, I like to kill crippled kids and stuff like that or whatever. Something stupid and horrible. However it came up, that's what comedians do. And someone's recording it, and then hey, he said this about handicap. No, I was fuck. So you can't. I don't think that's fair.
But I think even in those contexts, if that came out, I think you'd have a pretty decent defense to be like, I was joking. Now maybe you don't approve of the way I joke, but I was joking.
Well,
right?
he could say,
and but he can't even say that. He was like, well, I said some horrible things 8 years ago, and I don't mean them anymore. And, we're all a little racist, though. We just have to suppress it. So I think a reformed racist thinks they've suppressed it enough. Like they think you are.
Yeah.
They think that you've suppressed these feelings and now it's just a small ball when it's still flowing within them, but you're a chump for pushing down your true feelings.
Yes, you're a chump for pushing down your true feelings. And if you had more courage and a bigger backbone, you'd admit all this racist stuff that I'm admitting.
Yeah.